So most people have a minimum of 8% of Metatronic distortion in the DNA just to get on the planet. So it's not as if, some people are born totally impeccable and others are born totally saturated. Some people are born with very high percentages of Metatronic saturation. Some people are actually born as full-on fatally because in the last lifetime, the lifetime directly before, they have, encountered where they were saturated to a point where it flipped their entire template over into reversal and allowed for a fatality to fully possess the body, and that fatality would then take on the next incarnation. And there'd be about 2% of the individual left when the incarnation started, and progressively, as the fatality activated the gene code, it would progressively absorb the rest of that identity. There are some people who have gone through that, and that's why the beloveds refer to it as an affliction, because you don't find someone who's an embodied fatality that didn't start out as an embodied Christic. So it is literally the ones with the higher Christic codes that became the targets for the fatality. And so there's a compassion factor, even though fatality have a really interesting dilemma within themselves, because it's like a twisted thinking pattern that they tend to perceive.
It's a Chihuahua boy, Timothy Marcus.
Go. They use that as an excuse to victimize others, and they perceive themselves as being victimized even if they're not being victimized. And then they will go out and lash out for things that they feel they have to do and justify what they're doing.
Marcus, a baby.
Really targeting other beings, and that are not having that problem.
Minnie is a baby. Look, it's Min. It's Minnie. She's so pretty. Look how pretty that girl is. She is beautiful. I love that girl.
Like a puppet or a muppet.
Be nice.
And
hey.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah,
where you have the part down here struggling to understand itself and what it is. You have it acting in a dual nature. Sometimes it remembers part of what it does, sometimes it doesn't. And then you have the larger fatality consciousness structure that kind of hangs out and overshadow and almost like directs its persona down here as if it were a piece in a chess game on a chessboard down here. So there are problems with the fatality that it is very difficult if you happen to beat one, if you were born one or became saturated by one in this lifetime, because it's almost like you'd be the last to know, because you're not being allowed to see the strategies behind some of the behaviors or emotions that are coming through you, and it is a challenge. So there's a lot of compassion for people that have fatality affliction. With the activations that are coming through now, they are very, at times we have had to call out where fatality issues are getting to the point where they're going to spread and affect other people. And yes, access to more power to affect other people will be blocked by the Christics if that is seen to occur. And we will try to help the fatality if they want assistance, but we're not going to force it on them. Now, assistance for fatality and Christics alike comes in the form of the protection fields that are being generated through the Alhambra host. This is the enough is enough point in the cosmic drama where divine will does step in and overrides the free will gone amok, basically. And divine will is simply that was set in motion with original first creation, is part of the Christ code, where if things get so out of balance, there will be energetic reactions that bring it back into balance, and that is how eternal life circulation continues. So nothing is allowed to take free will so far that it's allowed to destroy the eternal formula that allows for eternal life creation. And that's the point we're at. So for fatality and for Christics alike, when the what do they call it? The roaring love light song of God's source first eternal, that is the Alhambra. And there's a rumble to it. Actually, when I hear it's like the Alhambra, it's like,